Finally, karma found King Leopold II. His only son was born with a ghastly deformity, a disfigurement that mirrored the most horrifying atrocities Leopold himself orchestrated in a distant land. In Belgium, Leopold II is hailed as the Builder King for the colossal constructions he commissioned. But abroad, in the Congo Free State, a horrifying truth lay hidden. Leopold was a slaughterer. How could a seemingly progressive monarch, a man who enacted significant social reforms at home, commit such monstrous crimes that led to millions of deaths under his hand? Let's pull back the curtain and uncover the terrible truth behind this two-faced king. Leopold II's life began in tragedy and loss. His grandfather, who had fled to England to escape the guillotine of the French Revolution, died in exile. In the very same year, his mother, Louise of Orleans, a woman described as sensitive and frail, also passed away, leaving a teenage Leopold II isolated and alone. This early experience of loss cast a shadow over his childhood, revealing a human and impermanent aspect of a deeply complex historical figure. 3 years after his mother's death, Leopold married Marie Henriette of Austria. Far from Leopold's reserved demeanor, Henriette was an energetic, lively and benevolent woman, beloved by the Belgian people. She seemed to be everything Leopold was not. His public career began in 1855 as a senator and heir to the throne. Leopold wasted no time in making his views known, no matter how controversial they might be. He became a strong advocate for Belgian colonial expansion, traveling extensively across Asia and Africa in search of opportunities, demonstrating his vision and ambition from an early age. On December 10, 1865, King Leopold I passed away, and a week later his son Leopold II ascended to the throne as King of the Belgians. The chilling irony is this: although he would later commit unspeakable atrocities in Congo at home in Belgium, Leopold was a progressive figure. He achieved great legislative successes, including major social reforms such as the right to form trade unions, child labor laws, and even created the weekend for workers. This is a significant peak moment, creating a dramatic contrast between his public image and the little-known truth about him. However, even as he enacted these progressive reforms, he was secretly preparing for the horrific actions in Congo. In the late 19th century, European powers embarked on the scramble for Africa. They sought to colonize the continent, exploit its resources, and enrich their nations. Leopold II, with his ambition to build a vast overseas empire, also craved a magnificent slice of the African cake. Initially, Leopold set his sights on the Philippines, believing that Queen Isabella II of Spain was weak and might sell her colonies. But this plan failed due to financial reasons and diplomatic risks. When Isabella II lost her throne in 1868, Leopold tried to buy the Philippines again, but still lacked sufficient funds. Finally, he turned his greedy gaze towards Africa. For nearly a decade, Leopold tried in vain to seize colonies in Africa and Asia. By 1876, he realized he had to change his strategy. Leopold established an organization called the International African Association, a philanthropic facade, but in reality, it was merely his own private company. He then hired the explorer Henry Morton Stanley and sent him to Congo to establish a colony. Stanley used deceptive treaties to sign agreements with approximately 450 local chiefs. With diplomatic cunning, Leopold persuaded most European powers and the United States to recognize him as the ruler of this new territory at the Berlin Conference, 1885. He pledged to protect free trade, a false promise. The result was the birth of the Congo Free State, a vast territory 80 times the size of Belgium and home to 20 million people. This land was Leopold's private property, ruled by his terrifying private army, the Force Publique. This was the victory of a cunning diplomatic chess game, where Leopold deceived the entire world to seize a kingdom. Initially, the main resource exploited in Congo was ivory. While highly profitable, it was still insufficient to fund Leopold's extravagant ambitions in Belgium. But then, an unexpected event changed everything. A sudden surge in demand for rubber on the international market. In 1887, a Scottish inventor redeveloped the pneumatic tire, creating a colossal market for rubber. Congo possessed the world's largest supply of natural rubber, and Leopold seized this opportunity for personal and political gain. He immediately dropped all philanthropic pretense and imposed a brutal forced labor policy to collect rubber latex. The Congolese people received not a single penny for their labor. Instead, they faced torture and execution. Leopold applied horrifying coercive tactics, beatings, mass executions, and holding women and children hostage to force men to work. Force public soldiers would storm villages, taking women and children hostage until the men brought in enough rubber to meet Leopold's quotas. But the most horrifying symbol of the Congo Free State was the severed hands. Because ammunition was expensive, officers ordered force public soldiers to cut off victims' hands to prove that they had used their bullets appropriately when killing people. However, many soldiers chopped off the hands of living people to conceal their own wasteful use of ammunition. Baskets of severed hands placed at the feet of European commanders became a grotesque emblem of brutality. One of the most shocking and haunting images from this period is the famous photograph of a distraught Congolese man. Before him lay the severed hand and foot of his 5-year-old daughter. He had failed to meet the rubber quota, and this was the horrifying price. Leopold's policies decimated Congo's life and agriculture, causing widespread famine and epidemics like smallpox and sleeping sickness. According to historian Adam Hochschild's estimates, approximately 10 million people died, equivalent to half of Congo's population under Leopold's rule. The accounts of missionaries like John Harris, who witnessed these horrific scenes, depicted indescribable misery. The atrocities in Congo could not be concealed forever. Gradually, voices of protest began to rise from around the world. The British novelist Joseph Conrad explored Congo as a steamship captain, and that experience changed history. His novel Heart of Darkness, on 1902, offered the world a direct glimpse into the atrocities occurring under European colonialism in Africa. In 1903, diplomat Roger Casement wrote a detailed report confirming the scale of the crimes. This report was widely published the following year, and the agonizing plea of Chief Lontelou, who placed 110 tree branches before an international commission, each branch symbolizing a person who died in his village due to Leopold's horrific regime, served as undeniable proof. Leopold attempted to whitewash his image by paying the writer Mary French Sheldon to pen praises of Congo. She claimed that she had witnessed more atrocities on the streets of London than in Congo. But these efforts were futile and international pressure mounted. By 1908, even the Belgian people grew weary of their king's crimes. Facing a wave of political opposition, Leopold was forced to sell the Congo Free State to the Belgian government. Of course, he ensured he was paid a colossal sum, 215 million francs, of which 50 million francs were for his personal use and another 45 million for his domestic construction projects. To conceal his sins, Leopold ordered the destruction of evidence. He is alleged to have told an aide, "They have no right to know what I did there." This was the final act of a butcher seeking to erase the traces of the crimes he had committed. Leopold II may have been a butcher in Congo, but at home in Belgium, he was a builder. He used much of his blood-soaked profits from Congo to fund massive construction projects across his kingdom. Some iconic structures include the Basilica of the Sacred Heart, the Hippodrome Wellington, and ironically, the Royal Museum for Central Africa. However, not all profits from Congo went to public works. This builder king also spent lavishly on himself. He acquired numerous personal properties, expanded the royal palace of Laeken, and built splendid private gardens. Nevertheless, Leopold's marriage to Marie Henriette was not what he desired. Although they had 4 children, Leopold lost his only legitimate heir. Prince Leopold, his only son, died of pneumonia at age 9 after falling into a pond. This was a major shock, a testament to the impermanence of life. After losing his son, Leopold plunged into deep sorrow, and his marriage also suffered severe consequences. He tried in vain to have another male heir, but only bore another daughter. Heartbroken and disappointed, Leopold and Henriette separated in 1902. Leopold's scandalous affairs rocked public opinion more than his crimes in Congo. especially his relationship with Caroline Lacroix, a 16-year-old girl when Leopold was 65. This decade-long affair ruined the remainder of Leopold's reputation. The king in love showered Lacroix with extravagant gifts, enormous sums of money, entire properties, and the title of Baroness Vaughan. Leopold had 2 illegitimate sons with Lacroix, and his second son was born with a severely deformed hand. This is the most significant peak moment, a chilling reflection of the hand-chopping atrocities in Congo. Belgian newspapers called it revenge from above, proof that karma had found Leopold. In his final acts, Leopold wanted to ensure that all of his immense wealth remained within the family. He established the royal trust, ensuring that his property would belong to Belgium after his death, but still allowing his family to use it. His last act as King of Belgium further solidified his position as a villain. In a secret ceremony, just 5 days before his death, Leopold married his longtime mistress. However, this marriage was annulled by the Belgian parliament shortly after it became public. Leopold II never truly paid the price for the horrific crimes he committed in Congo. After his death, he left a colossal fortune from Congo to his mistress Lacroix. His daughters from his first marriage tried in vain to reclaim the money, but ultimately, Lacroix took Leopold II's blood-soaked fortune. Leopold II died at the age of 74 in 1909. Crowds jeered his funeral procession, demonstrating the hatred the people held for this king. His legacy is one of prolonged cruelty. Congo remained a Belgian colony until 1960. And even after independence, the impact of his crimes continued. The assassination of Patrice Lumumba, Congo's first independent prime minister in 1961, with US and Belgian backing, shows how deeply Leopold's crimes were etched into the nation's history. The monuments Leopold built still stand in Belgium, a reminder of the brutality constructed upon pain and death. They symbolize the irony of the builder king. So who was Leopold II? A progressive king at home or a brutal butcher in Congo? His story is a powerful reminder of the dangers of absolute power and the terrible consequences when greed goes unchecked. It also shows that even if justice does not always fully arrive in life, karma can still find those who commit atrocities. What do you think about Leopold II and his legacy? Was he a great misunderstood king or a butcher deserving of history's judgment? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you love exploring fascinating and mysterious historical stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our amazing content. See you in the next weird and captivating videos from history.